I'm very excited to announce that again, we're going to be having our 2025 iCAN Summit in Montreal this year at the Delta Hotel. And the dates are from July 14th to the 17th with a brunch on the 18th. We're super excited to have you all on today. Again, for those who are not here today, this meeting is being recorded. Or for those who are on today and just need to glance at the meeting again, you can go ahead and do that since it is being recorded. And so I'm just going to go ahead and give you a superficial overview of the summit. So again, it's at the Delta Marriott in Montreal, Canada. That's in the entertainment district. And the dates are from July 14th to 17th, plus a brunch on the 18th. But there will be no real programming on the 18th. The summit will just be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then our check-in, per usual, is on the Sunday before, which this year is July 13th, and no meals will be provided by ICANN that day. Checkout is on Friday, July 18th, and brunch will be provided that day, but no other programming will be taking place. And we're also excited to announce our theme this year, which is channeling your voice. So all of our programming is centered around that theme. And then Abby, go ahead to the next one. Thank you. So just a little information about Montreal. We're very excited to have it in this amazing city. It's a hub of so much entertainment and fun. We know that there's a comedy show coming to them in the summer that you can go to. That won't be part of our programming, but of course you can definitely go there. There's tons of fabulous food. Abby and I enjoyed a lot of it, so we can personally speak to that. There's amazing art. And it gives you like kind of like a France vibe. So it's really an amazing cultural experience. And so do note that July is the high season in Montreal. There will be a lot of people there, but there's also a lot of fun things to do. Like I mentioned, the comedy festival, it's called Just for Laughs. There's the Old Port Montreal that you can go to, and there's also shops that you can go to. But the hotel is literally in the center of all this, so it's all walking distance as well. Perfect. And so we are staying at the Delta. And Abby, if you can go ahead and just copy that link in the chat while I discuss it. So if you are not on stipend, you can book your hotel room at the Delta, and Abby's going to put the link in the chat. So again, if you are not on stipend, so those are not members who are our kids or our parents or our chapter leaders who are turning in those stipend names. So it would be like for sponsors or any other parents or kids that are not coming on stipend, just to define it very clearly. So you can book that as soon as you want. You can book it. You'll still get the same rate that iCAN got, which we got a discounted rate 3 days before the summit, and I believe 3 days after the summit as well. It's a beautiful hotel, so I would highly recommend staying there. It's from the airport, it's about 20 to 30 minutes. Public transportation, 45 minutes to an hour. I took an Uber to get there. Abby took public transportation near that area, and she said it was very seamless. So you can definitely do that. And then again, it's a central location. It's only an 8-minute walk from downtown Montreal and other venues as well. And it's located next to Mont Royal and McGill University. So McGill University is literally right across the street. So it's a great opportunity for our young professional network, as well as anyone who just wants to see McGill University. And we went to Mont Royal and it was beautiful. So you'll be able to experience that as well. And there's a ton of hotel amenities. So they have a pool, gym, and squash courts. And then they also have wheelchair accessible rooms and facilities. Just so you know, this hotel is so amazing. They did not have a wheelchair accessible lobby, but because we requested it, they're building it now. So it's an amazing space. We're so happy that they could accommodate us, and they have experience hosting a lot of kids. So that's why we specifically chose this hotel. And they have 9 rooms that are accessibility accessibility, um, sorry, they meet the accessibility needs that we have. And then they also have playrooms for young children. So I know we have someone on this call right now who has a younger child. So if she wants to bring her child to the summit this year, there's a playroom for them, which we're super excited about. We want to make sure we're including the whole family in this process. So there is that. And then all rooms do come with a mini fridge and a safe. So mini fridge for those who need it for their medications and safe just for any valuables that you may be traveling with.
I'll just briefly highlight the public transportation from the airport a little bit more. So taxis, Ubers are all available in Canada, so you can go that route, and of course it will be a little bit faster. Um, but the public transportation, they have an express bus that goes directly from the airport to kind of the central entertainment district, which is where the Delta is. And it's very easy to do and navigate and is wheelchair friendly as well.
Thank you so much, Abby. And Diane, I'm just gonna put that link in the chat again. Again,
Thank you.
this is
Sorry, Sabina, I can't do that while I'm sharing my screen.
no, it's okay. I'm gonna do it right now. So this is again for anyone who is not on stipend. The chat is now the link is now in the chat. So again, you can book directly through that link and you will still get the same price that iCAN is paying for the rooms. Okay, thank you, Abby. Okay, so our deadlines for the summit are as follows. So, summit registration, super excited about this. It opens on Thursday of this week, February 20th, and then it closes June 20th. So, that's a hard deadline of June 20th, just because we want it to be in sync with the hotel booking. So, if you are looking to register for the summit again between February 20th to June 20th, okay? And then for those of you who are looking to get your registration code, everyone will be getting their registration code, whether you're a sponsor or if you're a stipend recipient who has already had their name turned in, you will get that on February 20th to register for the summit. And so also we have our scholarships available for our kids, and those open the same day as summit registration. That'll be live on our website on February 20th. It closes 1 month after March 20th, and then the notices of recipients will go out 2 weeks later. The reason that it's only 1 month is because we want to ensure that you're able to still get those flights and secure everything that you need to, including maybe visas or ETA prior to coming to the summit. And then for posters, chapters, or individual, those also have a hard deadline. When the summit registration closes, that's the end of when we're accepting any posters. So June 20th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And then for our iCAN stipends, you will notify us by May 20th. So this goes to all our chapter leaders. Remember that you get a certain number of stipends. That number was already emailed to you. You will get tomorrow exactly how much you get for travel reimbursement. So make sure that you give us those recipients by May 20th. Okay. So again, May 20th. I was going to have you repeat it, but there's no need. Okay. Next one, Abby.
Perfect. So I'll take over from here and just go over a little bit more in depth about entry requirements for Canada this year. So, as of 2025, with the exception of United States citizens or permanent residents, this does exclude those who are residing in the United States on different kinds of visas. So make sure to pay attention to that. All international travelers will need either a visa or an electronic travel authorization or an ETA to enter Canada. So for visa and over in general, visa processing times can be really long, and so apply early. If you require a visa, you must apply online through the IRCC, which is just Canada's kind of entry entity, secure network. And make sure to notify ICANN of who is applying for the visitor visa, even if they're not on stipend. This is because we are a registered event with Canada's special event liaison division. And so we while they don't guarantee visa entries, because we are a registered event, they're being able to help us communicate with different embassies around the world regarding our attendees' visas, which is really exciting and a very helpful tool. And we're very happy to have been accepted as a registered event for Canada this year. So make sure to let us know, even if you are bringing people who are not on stipend again, to who is applying for that visitor visa, and we will be able to give their names and information to that liaison force, which will be able to kind of help you register. I'll go more into that process on the next slide. For those of you who do not need to come on visa, and again are not a United States citizen or permanent resident, you will be required to fill out an ETA, which is again an electronic travel authorization. And so the fee for the ETA is $7 Canadian, and you'll need a valid passport and credit card to acquire the ETA. This is very similar to the program that the EU will shortly be putting into place, as well as a number of other countries around the world have similar programs. And so both the fees for visa and ETA, if you're on stipend, is a cost that you can request for iCAN for reimbursement. So make sure to download your receipts, to download your confirmation for both of those costs, so you can send that to iCAN directly, again, if you are coming on stipends. Canada has a very helpful tool. Again, all of this can be found in greater depth and in detail on the iCAN 2025 Summit page website. However, I have linked directly to these slides, and Sabina, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe we were planning on sending out these slides as well as the recording after, so you'll be able to have access to the links that are linked directly in this slide. But Canada IRCC has a really helpful quiz that walks you through whether or not you will need a visa or ETA based off of your specific kind of qualifications, your country, your passport, etc. And so while I have put out a chart on the iCAN website, which is comprehensive of all, if not most, of the iCAN chapters on whether or not you'll need an ETA or visa. We have had a couple new chapters starting to hop on, and rules may have changed since I've made this chart. So make sure to double check with this quiz provided by, again, the IRCC, to check whether or not you'll need a visa or ETA. All right, I'll go ahead and go to the next slide. Again, we're a registered event with the Special Events Liaison Unit. It is the recommendation of the SELU and IRCC to provide all of our members, so this is everyone who's coming to the summit, not just those on stipend, with a letter of invitation that contains a special event code. These letters will be sent out as we receive stipend recipients' names from your chapter leaders, but also as we see attendees register. And for ETA, for those getting an ETA, the special events codes is really more of a formality. You shouldn't need to input that anywhere when you're doing the ETA. This is directly from the SELU. This is what they've told us. But if you're on, it's good for you to have this documentation anyway. And so don't worry about inputting that ETA or that special event code in your application for the ETA. But if there is a segment where you can put, you can add other questions or something, you can definitely add that if you would like to. But these letters will just act as kind of a confirmation of kind of an invitation and attendance. You don't need to bring these letters with you when you come to iCAN. This is something that we'll be able to have on our own records. So don't worry too much about bring that with you or anything of that nature. For visa recipients, this is where you're going to pay attention to those codes. So the code can be used to tag your visa application, showing that you're an attendee of the conference. And so that way the SELU and us can cross-reference when your visas are going through. And so again, this is not a promise of the visa being accepted or approved, but it will help the process significantly. So don't forget to tag your visa application. There are more detailed instructions on how to do that on the iCAN website, and also in letters that will go out that have been provided with detailed instructions by the SELU on how to do this when we send out letters of invitation. Again, this code should only be needed for those who are applying via visa, and linked below is the iCAN 2025 Summit page, which has all of this information and more in greater detail, as well as the links to that quiz and the Canadian website.
Thank you. And I will share that code is not the one that we're providing for that letter, is not the same code that you're going to be using for registration, just to clarify. So I will be
Thank you,
sending
Sabina.
you a separate code as to not cause confusion. So for registration, again, that is opening on Thursday, February 20th. You all will get a code if we have received your stipend list by February 20th. For sponsors, you already know exactly if you are getting a code and how many codes you are getting based on your sponsorships. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and do a actual walkthrough of the registration just so that you all can see it. So this is what the page looks like, and you all will get the Zephy link officially on February 20th. I'm going to send you all emails at midnight. So, because I'm very excited it's opening then. So I'm going to register as a youth and young professional network just so that you can see how it works. But again, this would apply to any of the categories, okay? If you are getting a registration code, you will put in that code and I'll show you how to do it. But if you are not getting a code, then you will just pay at checkout. So right here, it tells you exactly what your registration is coming with. You're getting a swag bag, you're getting a t-shirt, you're getting full access to the sessions, you're going to get a daily breakfast and lunch from October 14th to 17th. You're going to get 2 dinners and you're going to dance, dine, and celebrate on October 14th and 17th. You're going to get an excursion, and then you're going to join us in groundbreaking discussions to shape the future of pediatric care. And you get to meet and network with people from all around the world. So I'm going to add this one. And then from there, I'm literally going to fill out everything. So I'm going to put my name, Sabina, and then Goldstein, and then my age, 30. And then the phone number, 818-256-7120. My company organization is iCAN. So now this is specifically for those who are on stipend. That's why I wanted to make sure to use this one. You will only be marking the nights that you're going to be staying at the Delta if you are pre-approved and have a stipend code. If you are registering as a professional, then this will not generate for you. So for those who are attending as a sponsor, you will register as a professional. This question should not be in your specific information that you're including. So as a kid, I would mark July 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. If you're not staying all those nights, do not mark all those nights. And then how many family members on stipend will be accompanying me to, and then which days will you be joining us for breakfast? Now, these are the questions that should auto-populate for everyone, professionals, kids, parents. So I will mark again all the dates. Which days will you be joining us for lunch? I will mark all of them. And then do you have any of the following dietary restrictions? I would put none of the above. And then do you have any other dietary restrictions? I do not eat pork. Do not eat pork. And am I okay with cross-contamination of that food? No. Okay. Everyone will fill in these blanks just because we want to make sure that we accommodate exactly whatever you need in terms of dietary needs. And so, what t-shirt size do you wear? I'd put size large. And then any other accommodation. So, this may include if you need wheelchair accessibility rooms or any other accommodations that you can think of. So, I don't. So, I'm going to put NA. My emergency contact is my mom. So 645-9309. And then this is everything that you're going to have to acknowledge before registering. So I understand that I'm responsible for scheduling my own flight and transportation to and from the summit. This is including anyone on stipend. You have to purchase your own and then submit for reimbursement. So I put yes. I understand that I'm responsible for my making my own hotel reservations if I'm not receiving a stipend. And I actually included this link. So for those of you who are booking the hotel, you can also click here and copy and paste it into a new tab and it will take you there. So I put yes. By participating in this event, you consent to your name being used and videotaping for promotional purposes. Yes. I understand that if I'm on stipend and miss days of the summit, this is really important for reasons other than illness, such as using time for personal leisure. I'll be responsible for covering the associated costs of my absence. So this is for anyone who's on stipend who come, so this is not necessarily, if you're a sponsor, it doesn't apply. But for those of you who come on stipend and miss days to like go out or something like that, then iCAN does have the ability to charge you for those days since the fact that we already prepaid for everything, including like the food, the excursion, etc. So you put yes for that. I acknowledge that I'm required to sign all summit related forms before the event. Yes, and those will be emailed to you. And once you register, it will be clearly defined as to when those will be emailed to you. This all the signatures that are needed. And then I acknowledge that if I wish to cancel my registration and request a refund, I must submit my refund request to myself by June 30th. And so I put yes. And so now, after I finish that, I'm going to click checkout. But just so you know, if you're registering multiple people, you can just click add and add more. You don't have to do it one at a time. Okay, so I'm going to click checkout. And then this is where I'm going to put my discount code. So it is. And this is just so you all know, this is just a mock discount code. It will be disabled after this specific event. So check. Okay, so if you see here. So this one, it only took off $100. So I'm going to go back here and then I have to make it a percent. Sorry. Okay, so now it should work. So refresh. Hopefully it did not delete everything. Did it? Yes, it did. Okay, so I don't want to fill it out again. Okay, so when you check out, it'll go to that again, the code, and then you will input the code. Like mine was stipend R 2025, and then it will completely take off the entire charge. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that if you saw that page that I was just on, it will have it's like a scale to donate to Zephy. And so make sure that when you see the scale, you have to make sure it goes down to zero because you shouldn't have to give anything to Zephy, especially if you don't want to. So I want to make sure that's clarified. Once you put in your code, if you get a code, it should automatically go to zero. But for those of you who are paying for registration on your own out of pocket, it will not go back to zero. So make sure that you scale that down. And I will show you again before the meeting is over, just to clarify everything. I just don't want you to have to sit through me putting in the information again. So Abby, I will interject when it's all all uploaded again, and then I'll do it again for everyone.
Sounds great. And I'll just add that when you get the confirmation email for registering for the summit, it will give you a like electronic ticket. This is a feature that we can't disable. It's Zephy automatically does this, just like it automatically asks for the request. Please ignore that. You won't need to bring in the ticket or the QR code or any or barcode or whatever it sends to the summit itself. So I'm going to reshare my screen here and just talk a little bit about the items that we have coming soon from the summit. So we have a lot of great and important information that will continue to be released over the next coming weeks. This will be sent in various forms, email, as well as posted to the iCAN website. Excuse me. So make sure to check the website to see all of these updates. These include items such as a dress code, the accessibility guide, which we will be doing again this year for Montreal, a general packing list, as well as an FAQ section. the updated 2025 reimbursement form for those of you on stipends, and then also the poster abstracts. I did see a question about the poster abstracts in the comments. So every year we ask chapter leaders and their chapter representatives, to submit a poster showing all of the really cool, amazing, fun things that you all do throughout the year to really highlight, which it will then be presented kind of in front of the larger group as a whole, just so everyone can continue to glean ideas and get inspiration from the amazing work that you do. Individually, participants, including your youth members, as well as if you're a researcher or a med student who's coming to the summit, are more than welcome to submit individual research. And you can do that as well via the instructions that will be sent out in the poster abstract.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you, Abby. I can go ahead and share my screen now. I inputted all the information.
Sounds
So
good.
yes, I just don't want to make sure that anyone is confused. Okay, so here's the discount code again. So if I put stipend R 2025, check. Okay, so if you notice, my balance is now 0. But again, if I wasn't to put that here, so if I remove this, so let's say I'm paying out of pocket, okay? So here it says $300, but here it says 15% is going back to Zephy. So again, you want to put other, and then you're going to put 0, okay? Just to make sure that that is clear for everyone. So if you're paying out of pocket, you will have to adjust this. But if you're not paying out of pocket and you have the actual code, it would balance out to 0. And then you can go ahead and pay again, Google Pay, card, US bank account, and then you just click buy tickets. And then you'll get an email confirmation. If you do not get that email confirmation, make sure to email either Abby or myself. Okay, thank you, Abby.
Perfect. So I'll go ahead and reshare my screen. And so we wanted to make sure to give everyone plenty of time to be able to ask kind of any questions they would like about the summit. And so now is that time for questions. Thank you so much for coming today and attending. We hope you learned a little bit about the process for registering for the summit. And we also appreciate you all being here and taking the time to continue to participate. So, and we have some features of our lovely little kids from last year's summit on this page. So that's always super fun. But yes, please feel free to unmute, ask any questions you like that way, or put any questions in the chat. Sabina and I are also more than happy to meet one-on-one and answer any questions, or if you would like to send an email afterwards when you have a question that pops in your head randomly at 8 p.m. like I do, then you will be able to send those out and we're more than happy to answer. Again, we'll be sending out the slides and the recording of this meeting with all of those wonderful links. So you'll be able to learn a little bit more. I want to stress the importance of double checking whether or not you need a visa or ETA. I know it's a little bit more complicated than in past summits, but we really hope that this process will be as clear cut as possible. So if you have any questions related to that, I am not necessarily an expert, but am well versed and am happy to kick as many questions over to the SELU as possible.
Perfect. Thank you, Abby. And just to clarify also, for the email that will be going out for registration on February 20th at midnight. That will be Pacific Standard Time, not Eastern Standard Time. So it will be 3 in the morning for you all. But don't worry, you don't have to rush to register. There's plenty of spaces for everyone. So just keep that in mind. And again, for those of you who are looking for an email, our sponsors will get that email first for registration with the code, but our chapter leaders, you will get the code once you actually give us the stipend recipient list. Again, let us know if you have any questions in the chat, or you can raise your hand or just shout it aloud, whatever you're most comfortable with. And again, as Abby mentioned, we are more than happy to hop on a call with you separately from this.
And a quick thank you to all of the chapter leaders who have already sent us their stipend recipient names. Great job being ahead of the game. We do appreciate that and keep them coming.
Yes. And again, if you don't have any questions in the session, we can also stay after if you would like to ask us questions then, especially since I don't think a lot of people have questions right now. I'm sure the questions will come up as you're registering and things like that. But, oh, there we go. Yes, Jasmine.
Sorry about that.
No, I'm
I'm just
excited.
wondering if you're able to just walk through the process. My one fear is that once I send out the registration link and the information, everyone's just going to sign up without considering the scholarship end of thing and the
Right.
stipend end of thing. And so, um, can you explain kind of the process? Should they wait to apply, and then how should they kind of think about the stipends versus the scholarship?
Mhm.
And how does that kind of timeline configure with the registration and getting all of their ducks in a row with regard to that?
Right. So, Jasmine, you're going, as a chapter leader, you're going to be choosing your stipend recipients. So, you choose that, and then you send us the stipend recipients, and then we'll give you the unique code. Again, the scholarship opens, and that will be live on the iCAN website, and I will also send that out via email. That opens the same day as registration, February 20th, and closes March 20th. And then you'll find out 2 weeks later. So, we're talking about closer to April, they'll be able to register. If they're thinking about um, if they're thinking about applying for that scholarship, that's totally up to them if they want to wait. You can definitely use the scholarship either for your travel reimbursements or your hotel room, or you can use it for registration. So if they want to use it for registration, what we can do is we can retroactively apply the $500 scholarship to that, and then they can use the remaining for travel. So if they want to wait to register, that's up to them. But if they don't want to wait, that's okay too. And we're going to have a separate session for stipend recipients as well. So that's clarified because this was just whole group, including our sponsors and anyone else interested in the summit. But we will also host a different session for that. And Jasmine, does that clarify everything for you?
That does. Thank you so much. Sorry for the silly question. It was just kind
No,
of
it's
keeping
not
track of
silly.
this
It's not silly.
versus the other two things that I think was discussed prior. So thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Jasmine. Thank you. I appreciate your question. And then Monica, so we can definitely, so whatever your bedding accommodation is that you would like, you can either put it in the registration form that we will send you, or you can let us know and we can contact the hotel. In the hotel rooms, there is a maximum capacity of 4 people. So if you are planning on bringing your family, definitely think about that. And people would have to share beds. So max 4, but 2 per bed. And then Paloma, I'm sorry if you already explained this, but will visa invitations be mailed out or are they electronic? They're electronic. So Paloma, I sent you a draft of it, but I'll send you the official one with the actual code so that you'll have that as well.
Thank
And
you.
thank you. And I already received your stipend recipient, so that's perfect. Okay. And again, oh, go ahead, Glenn.
I have just a question that might be on the fun side instead of the logistics.
Yeah.
You guys did such a great job pulling together the universities and the hospitals to visit in Bari. Can you give us a preview? Are there any fun, exciting plans in that regard?
They are still in the work. Good. But we're excited to we're meeting with our chapter leader in just 1 week. So we're going to be figuring out what our collaboration will be with McGill, hopefully, and things like that. So that's just in 1 week. But as everything comes out, we're going to update our tentative agenda. So Abby and our Kids Summit Planning Committee, who we're so thankful for, are putting together the agenda, and that will be live when registration is live, just so you see exactly what you're signing up for. Again, it's a tentative agenda with not really specific, like the speakers are not specific yet, but that will change as we send out polls for sponsors when the most convenient time for them to have their session would be. So those will continuously update as well as any collaborations we're doing with the university, etc.
you.
Thank you, Gwen.
This is Anna from Madrid.
Hi. Hi.
Hi. I have a question. I can remember that in the other call we had, you mentioned that for each stipend, it correspond a room. So we could use this room for other kids not under stipend, but they can share the room with the
Yeah.
stipend ones without any cost. That's right? Okay.
Correct. So I would
Okay.
definitely leverage that and use it as best as you can and see fit as appropriate too, because some of the kids do not want to share rooms. But again, there's a max capacity of 4 per room, and if you have 2 stipend recipients, then you can use the capacity to its fullest and bring 8 kids, or not kids, but it would be 7 kids and 1 adult to supervise, but I would definitely use that to your advantage.
Okay. And could we have an idea? I mean, in order to prepare a budget, in case I can get more funds from other people that could help us. Do you have an idea about the cost of the room for the people that are not under a stipend? So do you have a budget idea?
Yes. So what you're going to do is in the chat, I put the link and I'll put it again in the chat, and
Okay.
you will book directly through this link and it will tell you exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Abby, for pulling it up. Perfect.
But without doing, because I don't want to start doing any booking. I would like just to have an idea. Can I check this in this link as well, right?
Yes, the cost
Yes, you
is
can.
per room per night is at the link. Can you
Okay.
guys see the screen or did it switch over?
Yeah, we can see it. So it's
Okay.
235. That's Canadian dollars, not USD. So that's how much it
Okay.
is per night. And then Monica asked, does one parent have to go per teen under 18? No, Monica. So as long as someone in the group is over 18 and can take responsibility for that group, either like a chapter leader, a parent, we would accept that. We do have a waiver that simply states that the parents delegate that role to the chapter leader or the other parent. So we will send that out per chapter dependent on exactly who is going. So do note that again, it can be a group of 5 kids and 1 adult, like our amazing chapter leader, Stephanie from Kids Walter Payton. She came all the way to Italy with, I think it was 5 kids and herself. So definitely you can do that. It just depends what works best for your chapter. And Diana, yes, we will go over everything again in our meeting.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Diana. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap up our meeting now. But again, thank you so much for everyone for joining. And again, an email will be sent out to you on February 20th at 12 p.m. Oh, 12 a.m. PST. And then you can register if you have that code. If you do not have the code and you want to submit stipend recipients, wait till you get your code because you have to first turn in the stipend recipients. If you're just registering and want to pay out of pocket, you can definitely register on February 20th. But we are looking forward to an amazing summit and having you all back again and gathering our whole entire network. We're very excited for it. And again, everything is in the works. We'll update the agenda as we go.